B-casting. Yeah, we are pretty. We're. I would say this is a pretty mid-level B-cast podcast. Where none of us are A-list. We're all
What does the B stand for?
butthole.
Butthole podcast? Or
I don't
butthole
know. I
cast?
mean, that's pretty ridiculous when somebody says, "What does the B stand for?" and the first word that comes to your mind is butthole. That's fucking ridiculous. It's like I'm 12 years old. I mean, seriously, it is. It's. I have a 13-year-old son, and it's like I'm 12. How can a 12-year-old raise a 13-year-old? This is not even. This can't happen.
Artem is asking me to send him. He wants me to do like ADB pools for info on the BlackBerry Priv since I have one, and I can't get the ADB driver to work, and I feel like I have now entrapped myself into a terrible situation.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised that BlackBerry didn't make you send that back because they wouldn't even send me one in the first place.
What? I mean, they maybe might have said something about that, but I might have lost that email.
So, are you using like? I know it's been a while since I've had to do any sort of ADB stuff on a non-Nexus device, but I know a while back, like it may have been a year or longer, but Koosh released I'm sorry, Koush?
Koosh.
Oh, okay.
Is it? Because I feel like I said that once, and somebody was like, "Nah, it's Koush."
It's Koush. Yeah, like I was almost convinced that it was supposed to rhyme with couch.
Really? So his name is Kaushik? I thought it was Kushik.
Ah, fuck. We should just ask him. Anyway, so yeah, no. I feel like he released a universal driver that would just work on everything, but I don't know how long ago that was.
Yeah, I think that was long enough ago now that it
wouldn't.
It's not universal anymore.
It is a universal driver that.
No, you know what? It's still universal if you have a time machine.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a very good way to look at it.
Oh my God! I saw the best meme ever. You guys may have seen it before, but you said time machine, and it made me think of it. It had Doc from Back to the Future, and he was like, 1.21 gigafucks. And then at the bottom it said, "We're gonna need a flux capacitor." I laughed. Oh, I laughed so heartily. I was so happy about it.
Okay.
How had I never seen this before? Or, like, I don't know.
Doesn't he say gigawatts?
I thought he said gigawatts, yeah.
He does.
So he's on. So what I'm getting at is he's on Team SoftG.
No, this was the 60s. It was okay to be wrong in the 60s. It's not okay to be wrong now.
Okay. Well, that explains the race riots.
So we should make sure that the rundown of the show is correct as we would like it to be.
I didn't even open the spreadsheet.
Yeah, the spreadsheet. So we've got like all the end things are missing basically. So that's an item now. I feel like we should just run down almost every single feature spotlight we've done so far and just quickly talk about them. Because honestly, that's what people want to hear about.
Well, yes, I agree. I just didn't want to list all of them on there.
Yeah, I don't want to list all of them either, but yeah, we can just kind of...
I don't either. I don't even know that I read them all because I was...
So we're up to... Let me count how many here. So we've got 27 feature spotlights so far. So it's a few, a handful,
yeah,
a smidge.
Yeah, a handful if you have 27 fingers.
That's true.
Are we going to talk about the HTC 10?
Oh man, I feel like all this stuff is like. I mean, do people really care?
I am pretty sure people do not care about the P9. Let's get rid of that thing now. Let's get rid of it from reality, if we could do that.
What about the Robin?
I can talk about it briefly if we care. I have.
It looks pretty. That's all.
I think it looks pretty too, but some people don't.
I think it looks fine. I think it's a novel smartphone design.
I think the design is very, very appealing. Personally, I think it's very attractive.
I don't find it unattractive at all.
Okay, Cameron. So now that I know what I know, I feel like I'm going to need this to get through the show.
Yeah, it's yeah.
All right. Let's see. So I'm ready to socialist. I got the
So
spreadsheet.
what are we going to do about the end stuff? Are you just going to kind of bring it up and we'll...
Yeah, I have all of the feature spotlights up in front of me, and so we can just kind of like go down the list.
So you can just bring it up and then we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Sounds
do we have
fantastic.
any feature spotlights that we haven't gotten around to writing yet that are really important, or is it mostly small stuff now?
I don't think any of them are really important, and if they are really important, they're probably the ones that nobody wants to take because nobody quite understands what they are.
Yeah. Nobody will take those until Artem makes you, and then you're like, ugh.
Yeah, the one that is scaring it. Here's a little pre-show thing for everybody, all 5 of you watching right now. Let's see here. Let's see. The one that is most terrifying to us at the moment, I would wager, is well, let's see. Key attestation is pretty scary. But I would also probably go with direct boot, restricted mode, fine-grained encryption.
Yeah,
They
whatever.
all sound
like,
very cool and important, but I have no idea what any of this involves.
yeah, really.
Somebody emailed us like what direct boot was, and I was like, I don't think that sounds right.
I don't
Somebody
think
thought it was
so.
like you could turn off your phone and your alarms would still work, and I don't think that's true at all. I think what part of it is like if your phone reboots and you have encrypted boot, where you have to put in your PIN, your alarm will still sound if you haven't put in your PIN. But even that, like, is not clear to me. So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna social us, and we are good to go, and I'll start recording.
So I just want to point out that I was super excited that Tuesday night both my Note 5 and my Turbo 2 got Marshmallow updates, and then the N came out on Wednesday morning. I was like, Jesus Christ.
So both of your devices got Marshmallow
Okay.
on the same day?
We should make a topic. Okay, we should let's save this discussion because it's a good discussion. I would like to talk about this. Things that got Marshmallow now ends out. Like, what do you do
Okay.
aside from wave your hands in the air?
Like you just don't...
No, but like you do care. Wave
Wave
them
your
like you
hands in
do
the
care.
air. That's the closest I could come to waving my hands in the air like I
think
actually
if
care.
I think waving in your hair like you care would kind of be like very self-conscious and...
Oh, yeah, I guess there's that. It depends on what kind of care we're talking about here.
Yeah, I guess.
Because I think
they're
the whole
different.
like you don't care is because you're not being self-conscious. I think that's the whole point of because you don't care.
Oh, we have a new Android Police podcast art that Liam uploaded into Dropbox for us.
Man.
And it's gone. Oh wait, no, 2016. There we go. I like it.
Yeah, I think it's quite attractive.
Are there new lower thirds in there? I noticed you've got a spit.
The new lower third is in this, but we don't have really time for this right now. But yes, we do have a new lower third, and it looks
Yeah,
fine.
I just can't get mine to work.
Mine's all
Otherwise, I'd
jaggy
be...
as hell and
Yeah,
looks
mine
awful.
doesn't work this week either, so Hangouts, whatever.
No lower thirds for me this week.
Okay, let me close out. What do I need to close? I need to close that. Close this. Keep that open. Right. And I want that. I'm deleting all of my emails, like from AP that I've like old, automated emails and stuff, and it is breaking Gmail every time I go to delete them in bulk. It gives me 500 errors because I'm trying to delete too many messages. It's fun. All right. So are we ready to go?
I believe we are ready to go.
Okay. Hold on. Let me stop recording and restart since we just did 2 minutes of nothing. Okay.
Welcome to the Android Police Podcast, your weekly audio source for all things Android. It is Thursday, March 10th, 2016. I'm your host, Matthew Smith.
I'm David Ruddick.
I'm Cameron Summerson.
I'm Ryan Whitwam.
So, we might have had some big news this week. There may have been a new version of Android that came out. Well, yeah, there was. Android N, I want to say it was announced this week. But, I mean...
It was like pre-announced.
It was, yeah, I mean, announcement isn't... I don't know that announced is the right word for it. But definitely a lot earlier than I expected. I don't know if you guys had any information that led you to believe it was coming any sooner than Google I/O. I certainly wasn't.
Yeah, we maybe might have thought that, but unfortunately, circumstances arose under which we probably didn't do things as fast as we should have. But
the conventional wisdom was that it was going to be released at I/O.
yeah, although we did, the conventional wisdom was that, but okay, it's like, it's braggy to say it, but we thought it was going to be announced yesterday, and then it was.
We knew that was a distinct possibility, and then it turned out to be true.
So yeah, Android N, it's huge. It is of Trumpian proportions.
That's funny.
Yeah, you can install it on your Nexus phone now, and you can do it as an OTA update now for the first time ever.
That
which
is
pretty cool.
And it will absolutely crash everything. Constantly.
Yeah, if you OTA a device to Android N, you might just screw yourself over because it's
not had a single problem.
Dev build.
What? I don't believe
Not a single problem on my Nexus 6.
I have had some problems, not like a lot, but the thing is, I mean, things are going to go wrong. It's a developer build, and if you don't have an unlocked bootloader to flash the full image, you just OTA to it, and something goes wrong, like you can't fix it.
I would say, so even if you haven't had a problem, it's like, okay, you weren't trying to daily drive it or anything. Like, if you tried to do that, you would have problems.
Yeah, no, that's on my Nexus 6, which is not my daily driver. I also put it on Pixel C. So.
And plus, it's not actually difficult as far as I understand if you do the OTA route, because you just go back to the beta website, you unenroll the device, and it reverts it back to the last stable.
Yeah, right. But
it wipes all your data.
And also, I mean, if your device does crash or otherwise soft brick or whatever you want to call it, unenrolling won't do anything.
Yeah,
so
because
that's just something to be aware of. Like David said, you have to unlock your bootloader first. Which, honestly, I don't even know if my bootloader's unlocked on the Nexus 6. I assume that it is, but I just don't know.
So that's, So you want it, this whole Android beta thing. Got to be careful. We'll talk about that in a minute. Let's just talk about N at large. So I mean, the big thing is obviously multi-window, which okay, on a tablet I can kind of get it. Is there a case for this on a phone? Because Samsung's been doing it forever.
On a big phone, I could see that working. Like on a Nexus 6, there might be times when I would do that.
Yeah, I could see it under very limited circumstances when it's like, oh, maybe I'm texting somebody and I want to look at something on Maps at the same time to kind of get back with them instead of switching back and forth. It'd be nice to pull them both up on the same window, but on the same screen.
Okay, so my thing is, though, the user flow on that is like it's so awkward. Even with the fast gesture, it's still like, so especially with the way Google's done it, is you can't arbitrarily pull an app. It has to be an app you already had open in the past. So you can start with multitasking one app, but the next app you open on the bottom has to be something you already had open. You don't just go like,
you can press the home button, it will slide off to the side, and you can open another app, and it'll open in the second window.
From your home screens, right?
Yeah. I mean, but where else would you're either opening it from recent apps or opening it from the home screen?
I would definitely much prefer like a dedicated UI that pops up and gives you a list of apps.
But the app doesn't even technically have to be running, it just has to be in your recent app list.
Yeah, exactly. In your recent app list, which is
there are a lot of apps in there. It seems not like a huge deal to me.
I guess I don't know, but but if the app you want is something you haven't used till like 30 apps ago, then it is obviously very.
So you open that one and then you multitask and open the other one that you.
This is what I'm saying though. It requires a lot of forethought in these situations, like how am I going to use this feature, and that's why I've never used it on Samsung phones, because it requires essentially requires a level of planning on your part to utilize the feature.
You know why I never use it on Samsung phones is because it only supports like a quarter of the apps on the phone.
But it works with all of the main Google ones, and those are the ones I generally want to use it with, and I still don't use it.
But we also have to keep in mind this is a developer preview and in no way the final implementation. It may work just like this when it's publicly released, but they may do something completely different. We don't know. We can't criticize it too heavily at this point because it's just a developer beta.
I criticize it hugely.
I mean, I'm looking forward to having multi-window on the Pixel C. I think that's going to be.
I love it already on the Pixel C. It is so badass on the Pixel C. It is so useful. Like the usability, I mean the usefulness really of this device like just goes up exponentially, in my opinion, with multi-window. Just being able to run two apps you could just do so much more, so much quicker. Yeah, the use case on a phone, man, we can argue that all day long. But the use case on the Pixel C, it's up there. It's great. I really like it.
Okay, I get that, but at the same time, I've had kind of the ghetto Apple version of this feature for like months now on my iPad Air 2, and I never use it. Like I've tried to make myself use it, and I'm like, oh, that's nifty. Slide it in, slide it out, slide it in, slide it out, and it's like, okay, well, nothing.
Man.
Yeah, that was those were probably, but that's the animation that iOS uses, so it actually is. It's apt. I've completely destroyed any credibility I have talking about the subject. We should just move on now.
We really probably should, because you just took this to a place where we're not coming back from.
Yeah, we really cannot.
We can't.
Yeah.
So other big Android N features, improved doze mode is a big deal. So doze mode now works when your phone is moving, like in your pocket and stuff.
That's fantastic. That's phenomenal, because that in itself should increase battery life tremendously.
It should. I believe that is the purpose.
Yeah, it is. I have N on the phone that lays on my desk 95% of the time, unless I'm actually using it for something. So it's not in my pocket anymore. So I cannot attest to how good or not good that works.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely, anything for improved battery life, so long as it doesn't greatly delay any major notifications, which I guess Doze is kind of like Doze works on basically like priority. So if GCM gets a high priority message,
a high priority push message can wake the phone up.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So that's another big feature. The other one, obviously, there's some significant interface overhauls going on. We've got the quick settings and then the settings menu at large, which I consider kind of inextricably linked. So the quick settings, a little bit Samsung-y.
Yeah, but it's a little bit Samsung-y, but mostly a fuck ton cleaner.
It is clean.
It is so much. It's executed because it's so minimal. Like manufacturers, their skins take up so much space, and Google did this right because it's just the icons. It only takes up the amount of room that it needs to, and then if you want to, it's so easy to expand. So I really really like it.
I like it as well. I think it's nice because realistically, I never liked having to do two steps or to like pull to a different part of the bar to get the toggles.
Totally agree. Yep, totally agree.
Now, the settings menu overall is like complete. I mean, it's still a list of settings, but it is so much more robust now in terms of the information it shows.
You can see, like, just scrolling down in the main list what the like important settings in each section are. Like, it has a line of text under the title to tell you what's going on.
So nice.
It's
so
amazing.
Stupid nice.
It's so obvious in retrospect, but looking at it, obviously good features like that are. But if they remove this from the final version, I would be livid because this is great.
Yeah, and the suggested actions up at the top of the settings. So like if you have do not disturb mode on, there's like a drop down at the very top to disable that.
Yeah, I found so far there's one for do not disturb, there's one for airplane mode, there's one for data saver, there's one for I'm missing another one, mobile data off, there's one for battery saver mode, there's one for silent mode. Oh, I guess that's DND. Never mind. And there's probably a couple other ones too. I would not be surprised. But yeah, that's very handy because for me at least, I often forget that my phone is silenced. I just put it in silent mode because I don't want to hear it anymore, and then I just kind of forget about it. Even with the little status bar, icon, if I pull up in settings and see that green thing on top, it'll be like, oh, I've got the phone silenced and I forgot about it. I like it. reminds me of things.
Things.
I generally find that useful. And just to give you a rundown of what you can see, so Wi-Fi shows you what network on, Bluetooth shows whether it's turned on, your data usage shows you your data usage in the period, display shows if you have adaptive brightness, notification shows how many apps you have installed, sound shows your current ringer volume, app shows how many apps you have installed, storage shows how much storage you have, battery shows how much battery you have, along with an estimate of remaining battery life, which is awesome. Memory shows your current RAM usage out of your total. Users shows which user you're currently signed in as. Tap and Pay shows your current default Tap and Pay app. Your location mode. Your language, your primary Gmail account, I think is what it shows there. It's all kinds of great stuff. It's stuff that you might go looking for sometimes, and you would have to go down a menu deeper usually to find, and now it's just there. It's awesome.
So, the hamburger menu in the settings is. I like it, but it seems so out of place at the same time. Like, it just seems weird, but at the same time, I love having it there because it's so easy to go from one category to the next.
It is. It does make it easier. It makes navigation more.
But does it feel like out of place to anybody else?
It kind of does, I guess. But at the same time, it's handy enough that I appreciate having it.
Oh no, I love it. Yeah, I do love it. It's just awkward to me, the way where it is or something. I don't know, but I do. I really like it. I find it incredibly useful, especially for people like us who hop from setting to setting just to see what is going on. It's super nice.
And then another big UI feature that is totally experimental, but that is still going to make a lot of people very, very happy, is night mode. It's back.
Yes, and it does all sorts of extra stuff now.
It does. So night mode now can turn on automatically based on when Google detects sunset is, based on when your clock is set to. And then it can adjust the tint of your screen to basically apply a turn off the blue pixels.
Yeah, it's like it's a red filter, kind of like flux.
And then turn down the brightness as well. And then you can also obviously use the dark theme itself, where it turns all the system UI to dark gray.
Yes, it is.
It is definitely still buggy because I turned it on and now turning it off, it won't go off.
The toggles are super janky right now, but I found if you actually tap where it says on at the top instead of tapping the toggle, it'll work.
Oh yeah, that's a good call. It totally does work.
So, people were so upset when they took this out of the dev preview last year for.
And this is still in the System UI tuner. It's still in the same.
Yeah, it wasn't even in the UI tuner last year. It was in the dev settings.
Oh, okay, okay. So, there's still no promise that it'll be there.
No, it can still totally go away, but I would like to think they've added so much to it and given it a place that sort of makes sense that hopefully it'll stay.
And then obviously is the whole fact that no other app can take advantage of the actual dark theme. So it is just the settings and then any other apps that are on the device that I'm trying to even think does even the File Explorer have it? The Downloads app? The Downloads app has a dark theme.
I assume that too.
Yeah. Oh, because the Download app is part of the File Explorer. That would make sense.
I don't know. I think it's a little bit disappointing that the Google Now launcher doesn't.
It doesn't. The phone app doesn't even have a dark theme to it. So it's literally anything that lives in settings has a dark theme. And
actually, the File Explorer thing is even darker than the rest of it. It is pure black.
So the File Explorer has a dark theme.
Yeah, it is AMOLED dark.
It is hardcore dark.
It is.
Oh, also the File Explorer has a pop-out nav thing now too, which is pretty rad.
Yeah. Given that this is still experimental, and that Google has not, Google didn't announce that there's any kind of dark theme API, so it's very questionable if they still actually really intend to make this a feature in the final release of N. Although when they took it out of L, they're like, oh, it's still in testing. We're still kind of evaluating. Bringing it back is probably a good sign that they do intend to keep it eventually.
So is this the part where we talk about what we think N is going to be, like the name?
We still have features to talk about. We should finish the features. Speculate.
We still have so many features.
Bundled notifications. Bundled notifications.
Which don't really. The only app that supports them right now is what? Hangouts.
Gmail.
Gmail, yeah.
Gmail does it too? Okay, I don't use Gmail. I use Inbox, and Inbox does not work with them, right?
Inbox.
Yeah, what the hell?
So
like the Gmail thing is pretty cool because you can you open all of the bundle notifications and then you can like swipe down individual ones and you get archive and reply buttons for each individual message.
That's what I want.
Yeah. Although like it is kind of like if you have a lot of email, it can be kind of overwhelming because like you pop open the bundle and it's like 2 full like screen scrolls before you get to another thing.
Yeah, that's I can anticipate that being a problem, I guess.
I'm not sure. I don't think there's a way to just like recollapse. Yeah, you can only collapse them again by closing the notification shade and reopening it.
All right. Well, I mean, but that's still basically what I wanted to do. And so if more apps could just get on top of that, that'd be great.
Yes.
There's nothing worse than seeing that, I have a notification I can act on inline. Never mind, another one came in for the same app. Now I have to go into the app to mess with this notification. The other big change to notification bar, obviously, is a new direct reply API, which is inline reply. So what's happening there basically is Google is making a public API for what Google Messenger and Hangouts already did in the notification bar. It's a little different now. It kind of looks like it's really happening in the notification shade versus popping out a new UI where you put in a reply. But functionally, it's the same, at least as far as I can tell. So other apps will be able to do that, and I'm assuming they will do that because it's a good feature. And then if you like combine that with bundled notifications, then you can individually do direct replies to your unbundled notifications. That
would be very good, as long as I can see enough of the email to reply to it. Because like seriously, Basecamp emails they have like 5 lines of text before anything relevant.
Yeah, it's all just header. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, overall, I feel like these features are a very good step toward making the notification shade more robust and generally making it more capable of assisting in multitasking versus being so modal and having to go into the app to really do anything.
Yes. Speaking of multitasking, I am pretty jazzed about the new overview button and all of the cool stuff that it does now. It is pretty cool.
What do we mean overview button?
The multitasking button.
Oh, okay.
The app switcher, whatever you want to call it. I think it's actually called the overview button.
I think it is too. Now that I think about it.
But so like, you can. This has been a thing in custom ROMs for ages. But like, you can just double tap it and it'll immediately swap to the last app you were using, and you can go back and forth like that. It's super handy. And then you can just tap continuously, and it cycles through all of your open apps, and then wherever you stop tapping, it'll just pull that app up to the front.
Okay, that is very cool, and I especially like the little countdown bar that draws down.
Although I have heard somebody linked to a thing in AOSP or whatever, or some comment that they were going to remove that, but I hope they don't because it's very.
I don't think that's a good idea because I mean then nobody will understand. Well, I mean I guess eventually they would, but
or I don't know, maybe the apps just won't expand themselves and you'll have to like tap the screen. But we did a video demo thing of it on the site. So if you go and find that feature spotlight, you will see how that works. It's kind of like when you first see it, like you can't even process like how all of this is happening until you notice like it's just the overview button is flashing over and over again to make all this stuff happen on the screen.
Yeah, it's interesting, definitely. I feel like the animation part of it, starting it, is kind of janky. It feels like a little, kind of you're getting kind of a jarring effect. So I would like to see it smooth out a little bit just based on playing with it there for a second. But it's early. So we have other end stuff to talk about, and we have so many feature spotlights, I just kind of want to go down the list here. So one of them is call screening is now a feature of the dialer. So you can reject the call, prevent the number from showing up in the call log, and stop the number from showing a notification at all. which is nice. And so the supposition is that because this is part of a service that third-party apps can access, you can have apps like Truecaller just automatically ignore calls, not even show a notification that's being ignored for known like spam numbers, which would be pretty sweet.
Yeah, that would be good. Also, art is apparently much faster now, so that horrible optimizing app step after every OTA is over in like 5 seconds now.
Yeah, and it's not even just that. That's like, that how often are you doing OTA updates unless like serially flashing your phone?
Well, once a month now, I guess.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
But like it's faster because app installs in general are faster. So like you'll experience that
so
too.
We're actually doing a video right now where we're going to show how much faster apps install, and one app in particular, which we all are deeply familiar with the agonizing install time of, which is Facebook. So Facebook breaks some rules in terms of, or some suggestions in terms of how apps should handle installation, and basically overloads art and makes it freak out, and just that's why it takes forever. So we have a video we're going to publish that's going to, and it'll probably be up by the time you see this podcast. Well, probably. So when I did a comparison of a Nexus 6 on N versus a Galaxy S7 Edge on 6.0, installing the Facebook app, fully downloaded on the device already, the Nexus 6 took 32 seconds to install it. The Galaxy S7 Edge, over 3 minutes.
Wow.
6-fold difference. So, and this is because art has switched from ahead of time compilation, the compiler, to just in time compilation. And I can't really claim to understand fully what that entails. I just know just in time means things are happening on the fly versus ahead of time when it's like installing an app, like it's optimizing, basically translating the code into readable format for the runtime or an executable format for the runtime, and that's why it takes so long to install things with ahead of time. The benefit being that everything's ready to go already, but I'm sure that they switched back to just in time because they felt like the performance would be at least comparable, maybe better. I don't know. Like I said, not familiar with technical details, but Facebook will install hella fast now comparatively.
37 seconds is now hella fast.
32 seconds, Matt. Get it right.
Oh, I'm sorry. My sarcasm was unjustified, because that is faster.
It is. About 5 seconds faster.
So many faster.
Or you could just not install the Facebook app at all and save those 32 seconds.
And I also did it with Facebook Messenger. The Nexus 6 took 16 seconds. The Galaxy S7 Edge took a minute too. So it makes a real difference in those bloated apps. It'll obviously make a difference in every app, too. So even an app that takes like 20 seconds, maybe it'll only take 10. It's important stuff, I guess.
Yes.
So I'm gonna keep running down our list here. This one's a little too difficult to explain in the show. Long press on notification now gives you a bunch of notification options, which I think Ryan could tell us about.
Wait, what now?
Because he wrote a post on it. Long pressing notifications.
Oh yes, long pressing notifications. Well, I mean, it sort of just is moving some of the settings that we had before. So now you'll see, like in the standard notification, before you touch anything, it says what app it's from. Before you'd have to long press to get that. So now when you long press, it pulls up inline notification settings. So if you want to silence the notifications for an app or block them altogether, you can do that from the notification UI. And then there's also a button. You should look at the post if you are interested in this, because it's much easier to see than looking at my phone. But you can swipe to the side and you get a little settings gear. You can tap that and it goes into the sort of the expanded notification settings. So it's just a little bit easier to get to this stuff.
It's more natural, because when you want to adjust notification settings for an app, it's probably because it serves you a notification you don't want. Yeah. And so being able to act from the bar makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, and they also, it seems like they moved the option to enable or disable peaking, like the heads-up notification, from like the regular notification stuff to to some other area. I think we found it a little bit ago. Artem was just talking about it in Basecamp. Yeah, it's so like instead of having that option in the notification settings for an app, N has it has block, silent, and then override do not disturb when you go into the expanded options. They allow peaking thing has been moved to someplace else. I don't recall right now.
Well, that is handy. Another new feature, there's a whole new crash dialog, and so instead of just giving you like okay, force close the app option, you can now select to reset and restart the app or close it. And obviously that's helpful if you just want to get back into the app. I guess this is good to have. I don't see why it's bad to have. So
well, it's definitely good to have in a developer preview where apps are going to force close more often.
That's very true. Maybe this is something that is temporary. So there's that. Oh, here's a quick tip. So if you long press the flashlight button in the power toggles, it'll open the camera. I don't know why that makes sense.
That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense at all. That kind of seems like it's broken, if you ask me.
Confirmed.
Well, what else would it do?
Nothing.
It shouldn't do anything. That shouldn't exist.
It shouldn't.
Like that doesn't.
Okay, but like
it should enable party mode with the strobe light.
All of the
it should strobe mode.
See, all of them do something now though. Like every single one of them, if you long press, they do something. Like if you like long press airplane mode, it goes to wireless and network settings. If you long press the Android beta item notification, it goes to phone status. Like they all do something now.
Yeah. So that is a change there. There's also there's one that's been kind of aped from custom ROMs over the years. Everybody, you can change the font size in Android, which is handy. But what if you want to change the size of other elements? And custom ROMs have often had custom DPI settings that you can adjust. Well, Android has what is basically a DPI adjuster, albeit only one with 5 positions, so you can make everything in the UI smaller or larger on your device. So that's a lot of people have asked for that over the years. If you have bad eyesight or if you want everything extra small for extra space, you now have that option, which is nice.
If you want your high DPI device to look like a lower DPI device to remember the days when crappy screens were on phones, then you can do that too.
Yeah, or you can just bump it up 1 to set it to iOS. So the next one we've got here, I'm just running down our feature spotlights list here to try to tear through these because there's just so much. The file manager has some new powers, and if you manage the file system on your device, you're really gonna like these because it'll actually make the built-in file manager in the Storage Explorer a little more useful. So you can now move files, you can rename them, you can create folders. And you can also, something about multiple instances, and I'm not quite picking up in the title here. I knew about the creating folders and stuff. I had messed with that. So there are definitely some new powers for the file manager. Creating folders is obviously a big one if you intend to use folder structures and kind of customize them on your device. I don't know how many people really do that, but it's there. What else do we have? The System UI Tuner has some new stuff. You can auto-rotate your status symbols on your UI. You can, what else? Has auto-rotate, status symbol, clock, battery, and others. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can now change in the auto-rotate. There's a whole area of auto-rotate. So you can choose what to rotate, I guess. What else is there? Oh wait, no, these are individual options. Okay. Alright, so this shows you in your taskbar what these are, I guess, right? That's the idea? Okay, this is not nearly as exciting as I thought it was. These are okay. Nobody cares.
Yeah, you can calibrate your display color now.
That's much more exciting.
Hey, for the record,
look, my phone is purple, so that is pretty cool.
You did make it purple.
That is, if you have been missing a purple phone display in your life, that is a thing in Android N now. Also, it's kind of funny. After you adjust the color temperature, it'll have you confirm it Otherwise, it reverts back in 10 seconds because you can actually turn them all the way down and make your phone display like just not work.
That is very nice to have. And I think, honestly, that's the fact that there are no values on the sliders and the fact that you can't like set a gamma or anything. This is almost certainly more for colorblind people than it is for calibrating your screen for accuracy. I would think.
I feel like if it were intended just for that, like they would have, like there are settings for like
there should
people
be
that are
presets for colorblind.
There are presets, but some people who are colorblind probably want some individualization too. Maybe.
I would say at any rate, like this, it's super basic. So I mean,
I guess if you want to calibrate it roughly to another display that's in front of you using a comparative image, this could be useful. But as a standalone setting, it's pretty useless because everything is relative. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we talked about the tab switching on the multitasking button. Let's see what else. Number blocking.
Bigger multitasking cards. They're like full screen now instead of little like third screen things.
That's good. So yeah, the multitasking cards are bigger.
Yeah, and it whenever you open the apps list while you're in an app, whichever app you're in drops immediately down to the bottom, so it doesn't block what's behind it, because obviously you're not going to hit the overview button to multitask into the app you're already using.
Right. Oh, here's a good one. Data Saver, which probably should have been one of our headlining features, I guess, but I kind of forgot about it. So Data Saver is pretty intelligent. So what it does, it turns off all background mobile data. So if you're actively using an app, mobile data still works, but nothing is allowed to sync in the background. No background mobile data can be used. And then background data will turn back on the next time you're connected to Wi-Fi. I imagine a lot of people will just have this on all the time.
Well, I won't, because I only have a Wi-Fi tablet running Nexus or running Android in.
No, well.
I have that already just by.
You could have it on all the time, and it would actually change absolutely nothing. So that's handy. And I think that's most of what we talked. There's some technical stuff. Android, the Jack compiler gains support for a lot of Java 8 stuff, which a lot of developers are excited about. I think that makes things just generally easier for them. We talked about split screen. We talked about the notification shade, and that really rounds up what we've got so far. In our project manager for Android Police, we still have a ton of stuff that needs to be done as far as feature spotlights, and we will undoubtedly keep spotting new things over the next week. So that brings us back full circle to the new beta program.
The beta program. So I actually installed the update on my Nexus 9 through the beta program because, well, it was just a heck of a lot easier. But I don't know. It's an interesting idea, at least to just be able to. It kind of lowers the entry level to a version that maybe shouldn't be available to people who can't handle the current entry level. I don't know.
Well, I thought it was just amazing. I clicked enroll and boom, immediately got the OTA.
Oh yeah, that's great.
That was badass. That was, but I also have to think about, like, I mean, you say, like, I don't know, I feel like people who have Nexus devices and who are aware that this beta program exists probably can handle it. So
fair enough.
That's just how I feel about it. Maybe I'm wrong. I've never been wrong before.
It's never, ever.
That would literally be the first time ever.
Yeah, I think this is good. It's going to get a lot of people who probably shouldn't be running the preview to realize that, I shouldn't be running the preview.
That's true.
Such is life. I mean, this is a great convenience.
And it does give them an easy way to go back.
Yeah.
Even if there are certain risks and you're going to lose your data, but ultimately, losing your data and having a stable operating system is a trade that I think a lot of people would be willing to make, especially if they know it's going to happen in advance and can back up appropriately.
Yeah. It's just, it needs to. This is not something I would run on a daily driver. I mean, I would never run a developer build on a daily driver. I just wouldn't. But you know.
Yeah, I tried to do it with Marshmallow on my Nexus 6, and I ended up flashing back after.
No, I did the same exact thing, and I was just like, no, not going to do it. That's why I've got this on my Nexus 6. My 6P is my daily driver. My Pixel C has in, and my Shield tablet is. I mean, with a tablet, I guess it's really tablets aren't. I don't know. You're not unless you just heavily use a tablet like crazy and it's your main device or whatever, maybe.
Well, I can tell you that since the start of the show, I've realized that none of my video streaming apps work on my tablet. So
no, they don't.
Like I said, so the HDCP system is probably broken, or whatever the content protection
is.
Wait,
yeah. So I have a question. Since you've got it on your Nexus 9, does it use the new button layout with 2 on one side and 1 on the other, or is it traditional?
Are you talking about the navigation buttons?
Yeah.
They're
in the middle. Yeah. Okay. So I guess that layout is just a Pixel C thing.
Literally just a Pixel C thing. That is still really dumb.
You know,
hashtag just Pixel C thing.
I don't think I like that layout.
Also, I'll point out that even in
landscape. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I like the layout. I like it. Once I got used to it, I like it. And I find even when I use my Shield tablet now, I like try to tap over on the side, and then I'm like, damn it, it's in the middle. But I like it. I like that layout. It makes more sense to me, especially when using the keyboard though. With the Pixel C, it just makes so much more sense because like you're gonna be typing and the buttons are just right there. You don't have to reach inward or anything.
I'm curious. I'm actually interested to see what this looks like because what you're describing to me sounds an awful lot like Honeycomb.
Well, I mean, so it has the home and the back over on the left, lower left, and on the lower right is overview.
It's like this.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so the multitasking is on one side, back and home are on the other, and even in it does the same thing when you go to.
I feel like that. I mean, that is convenient if you're holding it by like the bottom corners, but like sometimes I don't hold a tablet like that, and then I feel like I have to reach more instead of having them in the middle. Like I have to go way over to one side.
Interesting. Well, a tablet this size, the only way I would hold it is by the bottom corners. I can't think of many other ways I would hold this tablet.
Well, sometimes I just hold it in one hand and just sort of like prop it up on my legs or something.
Well, Ryan, maybe if you didn't do that, you wouldn't need that wrist brace.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Wow.
Or it's from writing thousands and thousands of words.
I don't know, man. It sounds to me like Matt has no chill.
Yeah, no chill.
That's pretty much what I got from that. Savagery on the
mocking my disability, apparently.
So speaking of the beta, the preview and the beta. How long it's anticipated to last at this point is Hiroshi Lockheimer said the final release of Android N will be sometime this summer, and there's also a graphic on the Android developer site that says there will be a preview release in July, and then the next little bubble on the line is, final release. So
August.
Maybe. We kind of thought it might be July. So
late July, yeah.
Yeah, mid-late July, something like that. So I would expect it probably, sometime around then. Technically, it could be as late as September 21st, though, because the Android website says Q3, which rules out the end of June, but then obviously it has the preview scheduled for July anyway, so it doesn't matter. So anywhere from July-ish to the mid-late September is when we can expect the final release of Android N, and probably the release of OTAs for Nexus devices.
Maybe I'm misremembering, but it seems to me they did a pretty terrible job of keeping up with the update schedule they proposed for the M preview. Am I missing?
No, they did a great job. They may have been off by a few days, but if I remember correctly,
I think the L one is the one where they.
The L one, you're right. It is the L one I'm thinking of.
Okay, yeah, because they were much more on their game with the M releases. They did pretty good with that.
Yeah. Yep. So I think that covers our major N stuff. We have a few Nexus-y or Pixel-y stories, deal-wise.
Yeah, so Google has announced that they're going to be offering a $150 discount for Pixel Cs for developers. I'm guessing that's not enough to get David to buy one, for sure. But supposedly it's a move to encourage development on tablets
or it's just a move to get people to buy all the Pixel Cs they're not selling, because you don't even have to log in with a developer account to get the to get the code.
Yeah, this feels kind of like, hey, you want a Pixel C, buddy? I know a place where you can get one.
Yeah, so,
$150
if you just go and sign up, and like 20 minutes later, they'll email you a code for $150.
Just give me your email.
Yeah, so, if you have had your eye on a Pixel C and it was just too expensive before, go ahead and grab that.
I would like to point out that AP Liam in the chat room has taken a moment to remind David that he loves his Pixel C.
Ugh. Pixel C. There's no discount on the keyboard, though. Still got to pony up full price for that.
Yeah, the keyboard. Well, you know what? With the split screen apps, I would maybe kind of almost want the keyboard.
I like the keyboard. I have the keyboard, and I really enjoy it.
I have no gripes with the keyboard. The keyboard's probably fine. I have no gripes with the hardware at all, generally speaking.
You just hate Android. You hate Android and everything.
I hate Android on that application.
You hate Android, period.
Hey, it would be cool if you had perhaps a windowed operating system of some sort on that device.
What do you think you would call that?
I don't know. Maybe Chromios?
I was going to say, I would call it Chrome OS, yeah. I like Chromios better. I forgot. That's my favorite cereal. Chromios.
Yeah, I would. If you have a Nexus 9 and want to replace it with a $350 Pixel C, you should probably do that because the Nexus 9 sucks.
Oh, it does. It so does. I think I'm going to charge mine up and put the
I think you can
put the dev preview on it.
You can still sell a Nexus 9 like on the internet used for like $200. So like if you figure that in, like you're paying like probably $70 or $80 for a Pixel
Not bad.
C.
So there was this one time I said I was going to charge my Nexus 9 up and put N on it, but now I think I'm going to charge my Nexus 9 up and sell
it. There you go.
A ringing endorsement.
I've used it so long. It's over there. It's actually on a charging station, just not plugged up, because I literally care that little about that.
Yeah, I haven't used the Nexus 9 for a pretty long time. I mean, it was better after Marshmallow. It's not like a bad device anymore, and it's a lot lighter than the Pixel C. Like sometimes I pick it up and I'm just like, this is actually kind of comfortable.
Yeah, it is, but I'm going to go for Shield tablet 10 times out of 10 when I want a smaller tablet that's not the Pixel C.
We're sitting here talking about this, and I'm really thinking about now selling my Nexus 9 and getting a Pixel C, and then I remember, how seldom I actually use it, and it's like, you know what, I'm not going to do that.
It's not worth the trouble.
Are you sure you're not going to do that? Because you
sound
like
you could have a heavier, nicer tablet you never use.
I mean, the Pixel C is absolutely without a doubt a better tablet. Like it is the best Android tablet you can get if you want an Android tablet.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I do use it. I use it as a portable television set, which is actually strangely effective when you are a cord cutter in the first place. So everything I do relies on streaming services that are also functioning on my tablet. Except now that I have the N preview on there, none of them work.
You should probably go back to
I think I'm going to go back.
In preview.
I think I'm going to go back. Yep. So.
Yeah, so then there's also a cheap Nexus 5X you can get right now.
Super cheap.
If you sign up for Project Fi, which you can do without an invite now.
I thought about doing it, but then
I thought about doing it so much. I'm still thinking about it.
I'm still thinking about it too, but
you know what? Like, you can get that hot, awesome blue Nexus 5X for $200. It's pretty cool.
I know, but then I also have to have Fi service, and I have to pay for it, and I don't.
But it's like
I already have 2 lines of AT&T.
Okay, but here's the thing: like, just get rid of one of your AT&T lines then. And
yeah,
like,
but
just
I pay $15 a month for my secondary AT&T.
Well, but Fi is like, I think it's $20 for the voice and text, and then however much data you use.
I might use a gigabyte on my second line.
So
I don't really use it for much.
So and if you don't use all of it, you get refunded for whatever you don't use. I mean, it wouldn't be that much more, and it would be Fi, and it would be cool. And it's, I don't know, it's a tax write-off.
It totally is. I like tax write-offs. That's how I justify probably 75% of my purchases through the year. I'm like, I don't know about this. Oh, it's a tax write-off. Yes, I'm doing it.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I still have a next payment plan for my Nexus 6 on AT&T, which, I mean, yeah. It's kind of like
I have
do
no
I really
next,
want to switch?
plan, so
Yeah, I have a next plan for the Nexus 6, and it's still like I think it's still like it's like halfway done. So I still have half of a Nexus 6 to pay for, and
which is
I
it the top half or the bottom half?
I believe it's the bottom half because the bottom half all the stickers have peeled off. So that's probably the part with the payment still due. So
You'll get
yeah.
those stickers back once it's paid off.
Yeah. I'm gonna get a D-brand skin for this thing because it is just looking ugly. It still
Dude,
works perfectly
boom,
fine.
D-brand, all up on my Nexus 6.
Mine is undebranded, and and it's still, it's still.
You must not touch your Nexus 6 very much, Ryan.
I also have a D-brand skin on my desk right now for my Nexus 6P that I just haven't put on it yet because it's a lot more work to put one on a 6P than it is an Nexus 6. It requires a hairdryer, and if you've noticed, I probably don't own one of those.
You don't have a hairdryer? I'm sorry. In your house, you don't have a hairdryer.
Must have at least one hairdryer.
You have a significant other. There's a hairdryer there.
I know my wife has one, but I just figured I would take the opportunity to make a lame joke because I'm bald. You guys can kiss my ass.
It's actually because Cameron doesn't know how to use it.
I don't know how to use the hairdryer. I'm like, hey, every time I'm like, how do I turn this on? What do I do with this? I don't understand.
All right. So next we've got a product review to go over. It is a very non-Nexus, non-Android N product review, but we're gonna talk about it anyways. The NextBit Robin.
Yeah, the Robin. It is running. It's running Marshmallow though, which is pretty impressive for a crowd-funded phone that just came out like only a month late. That's kind of amazing. So it's a very pretty phone, I think. There are a lot more pictures of it in the review you can look at, but it's square and it's not really shaped ergonomically, but it's fairly light and it's got a cool colorway. There's like a dark blue and it's a little bit more understated.
Is there a cloud on the back of it?
There is. That's their logo, and then below it are 4 little LEDs that light up when it's doing its magical cloud thing. So the selling point of this phone is that when you run low on storage, it just automatically backs up your apps and photos to this included 100 gigabyte cloud storage thing. And then when you want one of those apps, you just tap on the grayed out icon and it re-downloads it along with the app data. Which, I guess, okay. It works. It does what it's supposed to do. But, you are still talking about an extra 20, 30 seconds before you can use an app if it's been archived. And you can pin apps so that they don't get archived and they stay on the device. But I didn't pin anything at first because I wanted to see if it was at all selective with what it backed up. So let me just tell you this story to illustrate how weird this phone is. So I had an Android Wear watch paired with the device, and I had finally filled it up. Like, it has 32 gigs of internal storage. It should only have 16 if they're doing this whole cloud storage thing. They should have just made it cheaper. But at any rate, so 32 gigs of space. I installed every game I could think of in recent memory that was big, and took some HD video, and finally I was down to 2 gigs remaining, and it started archiving apps. One of the first things that it did was archive the Android Wear app, which was running in the background at the time to connect to my watch. So I had the phone sitting there, and all of a sudden I realized, hey, my watch isn't connected anymore. I wonder what happened. Oh, it archived the Android Wear app. So it pays no mind to apps that you may actually be using. It just
I assume that you can whitelist an app for non-archiving.
You can pin it to the device so it doesn't get backed up. And then a few minutes later, I was going someplace. I went into the car and I realized it had archived the Android Auto app too. So that was kind of one of those moments where I was like, I don't think this is a very good idea.
It's not very smart. And do I remember? I think I read that it doesn't. It will back up your pictures, but it doesn't do video.
Yes, it does not do video.
That's the stupidest shit I've ever heard.
They didn't have the room on servers to pay for it.
It is clearly because they're people could take, it does 4K video. So you could take a multiple gigabyte video and not even realize it and suddenly be almost out of your free storage space. So Whatever. The smart storage thing is weird, and I don't. I mean, it's interesting, but I just
would like
don't
to point out that you just explained why it's 32 gigs right there.
Yeah, I mean, but like, if they really believed that this was like a good idea, they should have, because it's a $400 phone, and I think at that price it's too expensive. We can get a Nexus 5X for less. It should be like at least $50 cheaper and only have 60 gigs of storage or something. Like if they actually believe that this was a good idea, this smart storage thing. It's an 808. It's just like the 5X. And
RAM?
It's 3 gigs, so it's more than the 5X, but it didn't really seem like dramatically different to me. But I mean, I will also say they really screwed up the home screen because there's no app drawer, and I cannot abide by that. It is a bad thing. And it's even kind of worse on this phone because you install a bunch of stuff and it archives some of it, so you have all these grayed out icons, and you're paging through all of these apps, and like half of them aren't even installed on the phone, and it's terrible.
Are there sort options?
No, there are no sort options. The only thing you can do is there's a fab on the home screen. There's a floating action button. You can tap that and open an A to Z list of all the apps on the phone to scroll through. But like the entire home screen is still.
There should be options to sort it alphabetically or sort it by what's actually on the phone and then put all the
Yeah, I mean it's the home screen is back, but like other than the stupid home screen and the weird cloud stuff, it's actually very close to stock Android. It even has the UI tuner. Like if you long press the the settings thing in the quick settings, and you can go and like turn on like the embedded battery percent and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I don't dislike the phone. I think the performance was fine. The battery life was average. The software, other than those weird things, is perfectly fine. And I think that the device itself is very pretty. The camera is not great. It has pretty bad shutter lag, and it gets kind of noisy, so that's unfortunate. But I mean, if ignoring the price, I think it's a good phone. If it were $300 like it was during the crowdfunding thing, it would absolutely be something to consider. At $400, I think it is probably not.
And I really doubt they're even barely turning a profit $400.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first phone that NextBit has made, and I mean, for a first phone from a new company that did crowdfunding to get the phone out, like that's good. It's good. It's a good phone. It's just
there's no way this company is fully crowdfunded. Like there's got to be tons of venture capital. I'm sure there's tons of venture capital behind them. There's no way they produced this phone solely, or even majority.
They had working prototypes when they did the crowdfunding.
Yeah, this is clearly because all these people are connected. All these people running this company one of them is ex-CyanogenMod. One of them's Scott Croyle from is that Scott Croyle?
HTC, I think. Well, they're I think their design guy is from HTC. Whoever.
Yeah, that may or may not be Scott Croyle. And there's another guy who I believe was connected up to Google Ventures or something like that. So yeah, I have a feeling this benefited heavily from some front-end investment. There's no way they could just come up with this phone from the ground up without a huge amount of money to try to front-load the business. The crowdfunding thing is almost certainly just their way of getting the extra attention, because crowdfunding, especially a successful crowdfunding project, guarantees a lot of attention.
Yeah, well, I mean, and even though even assuming that they had extra money elsewhere, like plenty of crowdfunding things have to like go back and get more money later. So at least they had enough money in the first place, and it came out only a month late.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like they've got interesting design, and the price is decent. But I think the whole their business model is obviously that you're going to pay us for services, but the service they offer is dumb. So
it definitely needs work. It's very weird with like the first time you tap on an app and it just like pulls up this full screen thing. It says, "Okay, restoring app." Okay, so like 20 seconds later, finally the app is done and can be used. And like the lights on the back that light up when it's like accessing your cloud storage, it's like, why would you even do that? You're not looking at the back of the phone when that happens. Like the screen just told you that it's back, that it's like restoring an app. Why would you turn over the phone and look at the
concept?
So it's when you're holding the phone and somebody else is looking at it, and then they're like, "Why did those? Oh, that's cool. Why did that happen?" And then
but then you have to explain like, when I want to use an app on this phone, it takes an extra 30 seconds to download it.
Yeah, this is something that was explained very high-mindedly, likely in the home of somebody who has a Arduino-powered Segway waiter that delivers drinks. And like, no, listen, it's going to sync the apps over the cloud. Yes, over the cloud. The cloud. I love the cloud. Do you love the cloud? We all love the cloud. The cloud is the future. Everyone knows the cloud is the future.
Yeah. So I mean,
and then they proceed to smell each other's farts.
So the next bit, Robin. It's a fine phone. In many ways, it is a good phone, but it is not good for $400.
And it is the perfect solution for people who have high data storage needs and no data caps on their plan.
And I assume you can pay Nextbit for extra storage on their cloud system.
I don't know if that's an option yet. I didn't see it. Maybe it'll offer you that option when you run out. I mean, I use the phone pretty heavily to try to force it to back stuff up, and I've still got 85 gigs of storage.
Okay, free storage.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right.
Next bit. It's a thing. All right. So we have some voicemails, emails, and antiques, but before we get to that, I believe Cameron has an announcement he would like to make.
I do. So this will be my final Android Police podcast, at least for the foreseeable future, because I am actually leaving Android Police. I've taken another position with someone else. I'm not sure that I can say who yet, so I'm just going to leave that out right now. When the time comes and I get the okay to talk about it, then I will post that on social media and whatnot. But since we're not doing a show next week, I wanted to to say it now because I would have been here next week, but next week, next Friday is my, or I guess not next Friday, the following Monday is my last official day at Android Police. So I'm not allowed. I will no longer be allowed to do any sort of anything on the side because I did ask if I could stay at Android Police on the side, and that was a no. I had to sign an exclusive contract saying that I would not write anywhere else. Now I don't think that that's going to prevent me from being a guest on the podcast as we, as I figure it all out. I think I'll still be able to be a guest on the podcast, which will be nice. But yeah, so as of the end of this episode, I do not know when I will ever be back on the AP podcast, which is sad. I'm excited for this new job, but I'm also, it's weird. It's really, really weird because all I've known for the past 5 years is Android Police. So it's just, I don't know. It's kind of surreal at this point. It's interesting. So, like I said, once I know fully that I can say what is happening, I'll make that information public to everybody who cares, and probably people who don't. So yeah.
Yeah. It's sad for us. You will be missed.
I wondered. I was like, these guys are gonna be so glad I'm gone. No, it's gonna be weird. It's definitely gonna be different.
That's gonna leave just David and I as the only original cast members left on the show.
That's true. The founding members.
It's gonna be Weird Nort.
Weird Nort. Nice. It is. I'm going to take Nort with me. I'm going to bring that up at the new job and hope that it goes well.
How are you going to explain a random inside joke from our chat room? People, how long the first time you say it, people are going to be like, who is this weirdo that we hired?
Why is he here, and why did he just say this word that contains 9 E's and a 0? Well, if you don't know, then you don't know.
Frankly, I still don't even know.
I don't even know.
I just want to say, why did he say this word that had 9 E's and a 0?
That's the thing. I don't know. I did.
How do you pronounce the 9 E's and the 0?
So it's Weenort, but it's WEEEEEEEEEN0RT.
Yes.
And this has been like a running thing in Hip Chat for a pretty long time now.
so much that he set up a bot to yell at Cameron automatically, or anyone automatically.
Every time it's said, there's a bot that says very, very nasty things to us.
Yeah.
We have emoticons for it in HitChat. It's been fantastic. So I don't know. I'm gonna leave that one with Cody. I think I'm gonna let Cody take over. He is in command of the Weenord now.
Of the Weenord.
When I leave, yeah.
Okay, well, shall we continue on? We'll soldier on bravely through the rest of your final episode.
Yes.
All right, so we do have two
good
voice
ones, right? A good one to leave on. It's all the end stuff. It's awesome. Yeah.
Don't worry, there'll still be more end stuff on the next episode.
Really
We're going to be talking about end for like 3 months.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we'll start talking about whatever it actually stands for, which we never bantered about. Cam,
We do not need time to banter about that.
I'm hoping Nort is what it is.
Okay.
Android Nort.
Just Nort.
Android Nort. Sounds good.
Okay.
Just for me, like.
Yeah, if anybody from Google is listening and they can make that happen.
Come on, Google. You can do this.
All right, I'm going to play our first voicemail. Let's power through these. We are already running a little bit long.
Hi, this is Sammy. I just had to chime in that what Cameron said last week about how awful the Target pin readers are, or chip readers. I basically make it a game of pull out the card before it goes. It is, like Cameron said, very annoying, and the user experience totally makes you think that you're doing something wrong. Also to add that I use the long press to search on the Google Now Launcher fairly frequently. Usually when I'm doing apps that I know are at the end, I can just hold that for half a second, then hit Y, and all of a sudden YouTube's up. All right, bye.
All right, Sam. You and Cameron can be weird together with your searching for apps. But
I did appreciate the fact that he interrupted his own statement with the sound. That was
good. I mean,
well played.
I listened to this voicemail and I was like, wait, so he hates the sound and he searches. Did I call in my sleep? I don't think I did. But I'm not convinced that that's not actually me. So
searches for apps and is annoyed by the Target pin machine.
That's all it takes to be
the
me.
Cross section of interests nowhere else in the universe.
Can never happen. Can never happen. So
I too felt the was very authentic. It was jarring. I felt like something had gone wrong with the voicemail. It's like, what is wrong with my phone?
And that's how you feel every time you use the pin readers.
That is how. Yes, every single time. Every single time.
All right, we have another voicemail here, so let's go.
It's Matt. It's his never-ending list.
This is Matt with his unending list of questions. Lately, there seem to be a lot of deals on the Nexus 5X, the latest being if you pair it with a month of Project Y, Wi-Fi, whatever it's called. And my question is twofold. First of all, are all these large discounts that are only happening, it seems, on the 5X and not the 6P? How does that reflect on Google's vision of the 5X and the 6P? Are they not selling one better than the other, or are they just trying to push Nexus as much as possible and so trying to sell and push the cheaper phone? Wondering your thoughts on the matter. The second is, I know this has come up in the past, the 6P is a much better phone than the 5X. But with the 5X being so much cheaper, does it make sense maybe to be a better phone, maybe just a holdover for a year and a half until a different Nexus could be bought? The price does seem to be compelling. Is it the better value? Thank you very much, and take care.
At $199, or even the $250 for the 32 gigabyte, which is what it is, right? For this deal,
Yep.
Blows the 6P out of the water for value, no question.
Absolutely.
But you have to switch to Fi, and are you able to do that? That's the question.
Yeah, if you can make that work, then yeah, you should definitely get.
Because you get the 6P's awesome camera, you get the Android software, which is the main reason for buying Nexus. You get a fingerprint reader, and you get a decent phone. And overall, so I mean, it's an excellent deal.
Yeah, I mean, I cannot think of any other like sub $400 phone that I would want to like actually buy and use.
I think that's fair.
Also, I like that he called it Project Y.
Yeah, Project
Wi-Fi.
whatever. Yeah. But yes, I mean the
Project
5X is it's like almost as fast as the 6P in practice. Like there are only a few things that it feels a little bit less capable of. So I mean, don't be too anxious about it. I'm sure that they sell the 5X at a discount more often because it probably doesn't sell as well because a lot of people that buy Nexus phones just are used to buying the best phone that they can.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean you discount the 5X a little bit and it's a super compelling price like this, like $200. That'll get people's attention.
Yeah, $200. That's not much more than a Moto G LTE, right?
That is less. That is less than a Moto G LTE.
Okay.
That is $220.
$199 is the deal of the century.
Yeah,
Granted, you don't get a micro SD card.
That's the same price as the Honor 5X, which has terrible software.
Okay, so just with the contract-free nature of Project Fi, you could buy the phone, buy a month's worth of data, and then cancel, and you would be out like what, $220, $230?
Yeah, probably $230. Yeah, but yeah, that's plus whatever sales taxes and whatnot are applicable in your area. That is a great deal, obviously.
It is pretty good.
It is. I would in fact agree with that assessment.
So yeah. Matt's first question was about the discounts, and if it tells us anything about the sales on those particular devices.
I think Ryan addressed that, didn't he?
Yeah. So it's probably it probably doesn't sell as well, but I'm sure it also has something to do with being able to discount it a little bit and make it a really appealing price.
Yeah. Whereas you put a small discount on the 6P, and it's not.
Yeah, it's still a $450, $400 phone or whatever.
All right, so we have a couple of antiques this week, and let's just try to roll through these. Like I said, we were running extra long even. So the first one is a Desire HD, which was not sold in the United States. It's actually sold only on one carrier that I'm aware of, and that was the Inspire 4. I'm probably wrong. Maybe it was sold on T-Mobile too. I don't remember, but I do remember quite specifically this was the Inspire 4G on AT&T, and it had sort of like a kind of an effed up RoboCop backplate face kind of thing going on, where all these little plates sticking out randomly. It was really weird.
Can you share your screen or something?
Yeah, hold on. Let me go ahead and.
I have to see the actual item to appraise it. I can't just Google it around.
Okay, there we go.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, so you can see like there's all these extra what's going on here.
Did that have like a removable battery through like one of the? Could you like pop off the cap, kind of like a?
God, like I reviewed this phone and I don't even remember.
The bottom, I'm fairly sure the bottom part would come off, and
so like a G5.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it actually did. I might. It looks like it did, but
I know the Aspire, the AT&T one did work exactly that way. So
I reviewed that phone and I remember. So if the Inspire worked that way, then yes, that's what it did. This phone was in its day pretty good. The battery was way too small though, if I recall correctly. That was really the big issue with this phone.
Oh, hold on. I think you pop the side panel off, and that's where the battery comes out.
Yeah, okay, that makes more sense.
That is super weird. The bottom is where the SIM card is.
Yeah, so this phone had a 4.3-inch display, 480 by 800. Was it a Super AMOLED? It was not. It was LCD. Okay, I'm wrong about that. 1.5 gigabytes of internal storage, but only 768 megabytes of RAM.
Oh man, that was back when there was still like no internal storage.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And so the battery, get ready for it, 1,230 milliamp hours.
And it looks huge.
Yeah, so I'm trying to look at the Inspire 4G here. Let's see if it is the same phone. Yes, 1,230 milliamp hour battery. So this is a single core 1.0 gigahertz Scorpion processor, Snapdragon S2, and the battery life on this phone truly was just atrocious.
So wait, it was 4G. Was that an early LTE phone, or was that
HSPA Plus? And
they were like,
it's 4G. They never even rolled out their HSPA Plus network to an appreciable degree on AT&T. If you go back and use HSPA Plus on AT&T today, it still caps out at like 12 megs tops. So, and that's like on top of a tall building in the middle of nowhere. So yeah, that was the only way it was sold in the U.S. as far as I know. I like the phone the time because I thought Sense was kind of slick, but this
And that's
is aged
back when
terribly.
Sense had that gigantic phone button in the middle.
Yeah. This phone is aged terribly on every front. It's got to be with that battery size. It's got to be borderline worthless.
Yeah, I mean, $10.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with 20 just to be different, but yeah, not much.
Okay, I'm not seeing any HDs on eBay really. I'm going to look at the Inspire 4G since that would be more likely the device we'd see here in America. Yeah, they actually go kind of decent.
$12.
$12. So
It's like 30 to 50 bucks.
That's surprisingly high.
That would be a terrible decision.
Yeah, really.
Well, I think we have to average that out with the actual Desire HD, which we didn't have any occurrences of, so it's $0. So the average of 40 and 0 is 20. So I was right.
Okay, I'm willing to grant that.
All right, and the last one that we got in was just a moment ago, which was, if I can open Gmail here.
I've got it here if you don't want to.
Okay, that's good.
Queued up and ready.
Okay, so yes. Oh, it is the Notion Ink Atom, which was one of my first little investigative journeys on Android Police, trying to see if this company was the real deal. And for a while, I thought there was no way they could make this thing. But they did. They made some of them.
Didn't they make two?
They did. They made another one after this. And they might have even tried to do one after that, but I stopped following them. This device was positioned as being essentially the magical unicorn tablet because it had one of those dual mode pixel chi screens. So it could go from being a normal LCD to a kind of a transflective LCD outdoors for extra readability. And the pictures we've got of the one here, it does seem to work. It's running a custom ROM on KitKat. I believe it had a Tegra 2 processor. I'm not sure, though. And it also had that design. This is in the design era where a lot of people were looking at tablet concepts where you had kind of like a magazine thing where it had this bulge, like a spine of
like that Sony thing.
The tablet P.
Tablet S.
Or tablet S.
The tablet S. Yeah,
right,
the P
tablet S.
folding
My
one.
dad still has a tablet S sitting in a dock in the living room of the house of his house, which is like it just sits there and the charging light blinks. Has been for like 3 years. So yeah, it also had this camera that would flip around. You could flip the camera forward or backward depending on where you wanted to point. It had a full size.
What is this port with all of the little holes? Is that some crazy charging port?
No, those are speakers.
Oh.
Yeah, so and then it's got a full-size USB, what looks like a mini USB to me, and what else? We have an HDMI port, a 3.5 jack, a power port, and what looks like a reset button on the side.
That's for when it inevitably freezes up.
And on the front you have these capacitive buttons that make no effing sense. So the top one is like, I don't even know what that is. The second top one, I don't know what that is either. The third from top one might be a menu button, but I really don't know. And the bottom one appears to be another reset button.
For when the first reset button breaks, obviously.
I'm sure, you know what, that actually might be to switch into Pixel Chi versus LCD mode. That would make some sense. Maybe.
That's not what it is.
Yeah, this whole tablet was, they tried to pitch this whole idea that would run this amazing software ecosystem where it would have all this cool stuff going on with like special apps, and I think they had split screen they wanted to do or something. Of course, none of that ever panned out. It shipped with like a very basic version of Honeycomb, if I recall, that was like very lightly skinned. So it was very aspirational. I'd say I'm still surprised they actually shipped the hardware. I'm genuinely slack-jawed that it actually got out of concept stage because it just looks so fantastical.
Yeah, that is a crazy, crazy device.
I wonder if they even have these on eBay because I almost kind of want to buy one.
What is wrong with you?
Because it's a point of fascination for me. So
They
yeah,
are
they
selling
do.
it for way more than you want to think.
Oh yeah, that's way too much. Oh Jesus.
Oh, yeah, I would have guessed maybe 50
Oh
or
well, there's
60.
only one that I can find.
So maybe
There's
that's not a
literally
realistic price.
$165. Holy cow. Yeah, I bet you could get one somewhere. And surprisingly, it has 11 ratings on eBay with 4.4 stars. This just proves that people, they'll give 5 stars to anything. So, yeah, that concludes this week's Antiques.
Yes. That's a good one, though. I think
it was a goodie.
Yeah, send us more crazy antiques like that one.
Yes.
Don't send them to me because I won't see them. Cheers.
All right, so we've got 2 contests going on the site right now. There's a Blue Life 1X and a Vivo 5 up for grabs. That's from Blue and Android Police, as well as there are 50 codes available for the CM Downloader Premium for CyanogenMod users up for grabs as well. So if you head on over to androidpolice.com/contest, you can get entered to win one of those 2 fabulous prizes. In the meantime, if you'd like to get a hold of us, you want to send us your questions, your antiques, or maybe just wish Cam well on his future ventures, you can contact us at podcast@androidpolice.com. You can also give us a call at 530-HELLO-AP. That is 530-435-5627. Leave us a voicemail. And on Twitter at Android Police and Google Plus and Facebook.
Yeah.
Cam, cheers.
Thank you, sir. Well, we're gonna do that other thing we were talking about. We're gonna keep that on the hush. What we're totally gonna do. Also, yeah, hold up. I sent you a message on Twitter, but you didn't respond. Did you even see it? I assume you did.
When was this?
Like 2 days ago. So we're on week 19 in our fantasy league, and that's as high as it goes. What happens after week 19?
The playoffs.
Okay. So
as of right now, I don't show that I have a DM from you or anything, so I don't know.
That is really God. Oh God, did I send it to the wrong person? No, I didn't. I sent it to you. Okay, man, I was really starting to freak out. Like, oh shit.
Yeah. So actually, week 20, you and I, as it is right now, which I don't think will change. As it is right now, you and I both are on a bye week for week 20 because we finished first and second. So.
Ooh, yeah, man. Damn it. I dropped some people, and then I picked up some people, and I swear to God, as soon as I picked up Norris Cole, he got hurt.
Yeah.
I don't even like him in the first place. Whatever.
All right, I'm going to stop the broadcast.